Joe, we had ExFEARience tonight, October 29th, 2016. We had our trunk or treat beforehand. I dressed up. And, well, you always dress up.
That's right. You know, I'll tell you something. I got so much style that every day's Halloween for me, baby. And I'll tell you another thing.
So every day you pretend to be something that you're really not?
No, PK. I'm just saying everybody wants to be me. That's why every day is Halloween for me, PK.
Well, Joe, our first match to start off was OSWA newcomer, but who's been wrestling for a while in other places. Scott Mason went up against Jacob Ashworth.
That's right, PK. I'll tell you something. The hero of Habersham. That's a
self-proclaimed.
No, he is the hero, PK. I mean, I'll tell you something. There are heroes like me that come in from out of town. But they had a hometown hero who they booed, who they dismissed, who they despised. But guess what? He won.
By grabbing the tights of Jacob Ashworth and getting the pin.
That's immaterial.
No, the material was in his hand. It was very material.
Oh, shut up, PK. You know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. The bottom line is Scott Mason comes here the first time. He wins. He beats one of the most experienced wrestlers we have on the roster. I'm talking about Jacob Ashworth, a man who's gone all the way to WWE and all these other great places. And he still lost because you know what? Because Scott Mason, he just goes to show. That just goes to show.
If you grab the tights, you still can win.
No!
Well, Joe, our next match was the Monster Z versus the White Knight. And, Joe, this match was go from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Monster Z's music comes on. He comes out, chasing right behind him. And unbeknownst to him was the White Knight who attacks him from behind. But ultimately, the Monster Z hits a power bomb and gets a win on the White Knight.
That's right, PK. It's some hard-fought match, fierce match. And you know what? Tonight, the Monster Z got it. Will we see the White Knight again? That's what I'm wondering. Will we see him back in action? That's the question I have. Will there be maybe another book or another section to the book of this story? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know, Joe. We'll just have to wait and see.
That's right.
Then we had Michael Manson versus Keith Cage for the Generations Championship. And, Joe, what was interesting about this match was Keith Cage got to pick the stipulation, and he picked a casket match.
Perfect for the time of Halloween, PK. It's the season for death and... Come on, PK, say something.
Season, okay.
Oh, PK.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. It was a great match, but the greatest part was Michael Manson gets Keith Cage into the casket, says rest in peace, slams the top, winds up winning. He's having his ExFEARience moment when Jimmy Lee comes out and says, hey, I want to be your first title defense. And then he acts like he's congratulating Michael Manson, but instead face plants him right there in the middle of the ring.
Now that's a champion we need, PK. Jimmy Lee, as I like to call him, the Duke of Habersham. PK, I'll tell you something. He went out there and he's like, yes, congratulations, some nice heartwarming moment. I know we all had tears in our eyes. But then Jimmy Lee showed everybody here tonight exactly why we are the OSWA. Competition, greed, the need for more, gold. And PK, he went after our newfound champion, Michael Manson, and showed him exactly what a chump he is.
Well, Joe, Michael Manson definitely had a new level of aggression tonight. And if he keeps that up, it's going to be a tough time for Jimmy Lee.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever. We'll see about that.
Well, Joe, then we had our first Soul Survivor 2017 qualifying match with Marcus Adams taking on his former tag team partner, Patrick Samuels.
Oh, and I tell you something, PK, what a hard-fought match. I got to admit.
I agree.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. I think there was a little... I'd have to put an asterisk on that match.
Why is that, Joe?
Because I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you something.
Because Marcus Adams won?
No, BK, because obviously there were personal feelings. They were getting too personal with one another. And you see that sickening ending? What happened after that?
Yeah, you mean after Marcus Adams hit the Royal Driver and got the pin for the win?
Yeah.
Yeah, they congratulate each other. It seemed like they reconciled, and maybe the Royal's coming back, and it's going to shake up the tag team division here in the OSWA.
Oh, yes, and it pulled at the strings of the very cockles of my heart, and I listened to the love theme song from Ice Castles, and I cried. No, PK, we shouldn't be that way. We need competition.
No, but you did cry, Joe.
No, I did not, PK. People ignore him. He has nobody's
Well, then we had the Blood Brothers, Jamar Anderson and Mac Mosley, take on the Book Club for the Tag Team Championship.
That's right.
Great match, but Joe, the Book Club, once again, held on to their title when James Boulevard hit the cul-de-sac on Jamar Anderson for the win.
That just goes to show you can have all the great things that all these Disney movies talk about. Desire, brotherhood, love, determination, but knowledge, experience. Yeah.
Joe, for a single guy in his 40s, you sure talk a lot about Disney movies.
No,
well then, Joe, our next match was Ken O'Sullivan versus Will Caution for the Corporate Championship. Loser leaves town was the stipulation that Ken O'Sullivan put on it. David Garrison was so sure that Ken O'Sullivan was going to win that he left ringside.
That's right.
to let Ken O'Sullivan face Will Caution one-on-one. Will Caution winds up being defeated after being hit with 2 Look of the Irishes by Ken O'Sullivan. Ken O'Sullivan retains his title, and unfortunately, Will Caution has to leave town.
Irish eyes are smiling tonight, BK, and I know exactly why I knew, and everybody knew, Ken O'Sullivan was going to win. And that's because he's Irish. That's why. That's why they're fierce fighters. I remember when Sinead O'Connor and Enya were both fighting for my affection. That was the most fierce fight I ever saw, BK. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on.
Joe, that wasn't even on TMZ.
What?
Anyways.
Oh, what?
Then,
No,
Joe,
that
our
needs to be on TV.
final
What?
main event. Career versus company. Team Popham versus CTMD presents the Super Bad Boys Shallow Gene Pool.
That's not right. It's CTMD presents the Super Bad Boys Club Talent Pool.
Oh, you
BK.
can see where I got the mistake.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The first 2 people that came out were Adrian Phillips and Jake Hughes. It was very physical. And then ultimately, Jackson Carter winds up coming out with Team Popham. But then the surprise of the night, the return of Tower.
That's right. We had it in our hands, BK.
But just like mud, it slipped through your fingers the tighter you grasped. And ultimately, Bobby Popham winds up hitting Curtis Coleman with a combination of a stunner and a code breaker to get the win here tonight. He keeps his company. And au revoir, c'est la vie, adios, bye-bye
don't get
to
all
Curtis Coleman.
Frenchy with me. Let me tell you something, PK. That is a black guy in the OSWA. And I'll tell you something, yeah, they got rid of Tower. He was our nuclear bomb. And you know what? The ref, was it Lee Justice? Oh, he was playing too rough. And he kicked him out. You know what? We would have had it had Lee Justice not used his corrupted power.
Had Tower not continued to beat upon Adrian Phillips when he was after he'd been eliminated, that would not have happened.
Oh, what a wimpy society we live in. Learn to take it, buddy. And let me tell you something. It ain't over. You know, you might think that Bobby Popham saved the day, and now forever and ever and ever, the OSWA is going to prosper under peace and prosperity. No, PK. No, it's not over. CTMD presents the Super Bad Boys Club
Shallow Gene Pool.
Shut up. We don't take that, PK. We don't go down that easily. We die hard.
Well, Joe, now the question is, we have a new commissioner.
Oh, Ginger.
Miss Ginger Demore winds up winning the election, becomes our commissioner. So, Joe, she now has to figure out what's going to happen with the Ultimate title.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to go to Bobby Popham?
No.
Or is there going to be a tournament for it? Or what?
Yeah, okay, Ginger, you won your little election. Now it's time to wave your little magic wand and make everybody happy.
Don't be a sore loser.
I'm not a sore loser.
I thought you were eliminated 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and now I know what it's like to be a Georgia Bulldog. Now I know what it's like to be a loser. Okay, now I can identify with all you ditch diggers and lettuce pickers out there.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. Not that I'm bitter.
Just offended like 99% of our fan base.
Hey, let me tell you something. You know, I'm just stating the facts. If the truth hurts, then that's just too bad.
Well, I'll tell you something. One thing, though, I did find out right before we started filming this week recap, Bobby Popham came up to me because Joe was still kind of crying and reeling
I
from
was
the
not
loss.
crying.
You were verklempt.
I had dust in my eye.
Bobby Popham came up to me and said, hey, at the next show next week, first Saturday in November. Wow, I'm going backwards.
Yeah, was it Back to the Future?
Hey, Joe, I got to carry your load, so sometimes I kind of get confused.
Don't worry, I'll get your DeLorean.
At the next show, this coming Saturday, a week from today, Curtis Coleman's going to be there to say his farewell. To say goodbye to his fans.
Fans.
His family might show up.
Oh, shut up, PK. He's got plenty of fans.
But we're going to see what happens with that Ultimate title, Joe. Is there going to be a tournament? Is Bobby Popham going to get it? We're going to see. And, folks, we're going to be back next week. Bell time's at 7. Doors open at 6. And we'll see you when we come back.